human brain. I want to tell you where it is, what it looks like, and sort of basically how it works with the help of my great mate, Dr. Urian, who's an expert in brains. Now, this is going to lead into the following week's health tip, which is going to be on strokes, and the one after that is going to be on brain injury, which is very important because a lot of people get a bad whack to the head, and it's important that you know what happens and how to protect yourself against it. So, let's start the first Healthy Bastards health tip of 2013 on the brain. Again, we'll phase into a clip cut out of the Oscar award-winning Healthy Bastards movie, starring myself and Batman. And this will tell you what is the brain and sort of what does it do. So concentrate on it, and that'll set up for next week's. It'll be so much easier to tell you about strokes. Okay, fellas, so keep this going, make it go viral for us, and I hope you enjoy it. So, see you soon, fellas. Happy New Year. Hey, Urian, how you doing, mate?
Long time no see. Yeah,
you're an expert in the brain, aren't you?
Well, I wouldn't say an expert. I've got a fair understanding of the function of the human brain and how it responds after illness or injury.
So it's not just a normal brain, you're an expert in brains that are injured.
Yes, we see a lot of people after acquired brain injury in the service that I've worked in, yes.
So they might be boxers, car accidents.
Yes.
So what I want you to do is tell me about the human brain.
Well, I could tell you a lot about the brain, but it would be really nice if we had a brain to have a look at, and I can take you through it.
Funny you should say that. I do have one.
Well, that's very
Come
lucky.
with me,
all right,
sir.
very good.
Oh, blow me down. Look, we've got a human brain.
Well, I've never seen one on an aircraft wing before.
Well, don't ask me where I got it from.
Yes,
But if
that
this
is a brain.
a brain, to start with, when I look at that, it's real soft.
It is very soft, but it's also smaller than a normal human brain. It looks more like a pilot's brain to me.
Well, this person did not come from balls, but when I bang my head, it's really hard, but that's soft.
That is extremely soft and jelly-like.
Yep.
And of course, as you know, the human brain swims in some fluid, which is known as CSF, and it is surrounded by three membranes that protect it, and it is essentially cushioned from any violent blows to the head, only to a certain extent.
Yep.
Now, when the blow is too severe, that cushioning of the membranes in the fluid it swims in is insufficient, and the brain sort of ricochets
like that,
and it rattles around like a pill in a pillbox, and it hits the front and then it hits the back, and then you get these hemorrhages, sort of little bleedings, right at the frontal lobes and what we call the inferior temporal lobes, which is on the other side there. And of course, the frontal lobes are very important for information processing, higher social judgment.
Because there's two bits, there's two main bits.
There are two hemispheres, as you can see,
Yeah.
and in actual fact, the neurons, the grey cells, are on the outside. As you can see, the surface is very greatly increased by all the folds that you see there. So it is actually a huge surface.
So if I separate that,
Yes.
there's the right bit and the left bit.
That's the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, and in the middle is the corpus callosum, which actually connects the left and the right brain.
Yep, and they all. So what is that all made up of? Little nerve cells.
And so the nerve cells are on the outside, and then the electric cabling, which is known as the white matter, is on the inside, and it connects all the different areas of the brain. Deep in that area there. As you can see, there's another small bit here, which is the cerebellum, which is attached to the brainstem, and that's very important
so soft,
in coordinating movement.
So where's that in my head?
That's sort of at the back there. So that's another part of your head that you really don't want to knock too hard, or you'll become very
So if we take that brain there and say it was mine, that would be sitting in the skull, just like that.
Yes, right there in your skull.
Yep.
In fact, there would be a lot of space around that brain if it was your head, but let's not just go there.
At the front, you've got the frontal lobes.
The frontal lobes, and now the frontal lobes are, of course, in evolution, the most important bit of the human brain, because it actually places us above the other animals. And
Chimpanzees.
That's correct. Now, the frontal lobe is very important. It's almost like that's the last part of the brain to mature, particularly the prefrontal area, which
Yep.
is the bit right at the front, which is just right above your eyes there, right?
Yep.
Now that bit of brain acts like a parent.
Yeah.
It tells you that certain ideas that you have may be good ideas or bad ideas, and it stops you from doing silly things. Now, you see, if you injure that particular area, you may start acting like a teenager. You start doing things that may not be so
So
wise.
you lose your inhibitions.
You will lose those. In fact, you know, act as if you never had any. And you start arguing with people older than yourself and knowing everything better. And this is when they say, you know, why don't you leave home whilst you still know everything? and of course, you know, the other parts, they're a little bit deeper, a bit further here.
Yeah.
The prefrontal cortex, we have the micturition and defecation center. Now,
Poos
are-
and wees.
Yes, and those are the areas of the brain that get activated when you are potty trained.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you see, normally your bladder fills up and your body thinks, oh, it's full. Oops, it's already emptied itself, right, before you know about it. Now, in very severe brain injuries, people lose the ability to inhibit those reflexes and they go back to their pre-potty training baby-like state.
the
So
bed.
and that's correct.